Hello, it's me again, Carl Rupp, and I'm going to talk about our block shaver. This is it here, and it's I've been, just so you know, I've been building shavers for like about 30 years, and I built one called the Real Snow Block Ice Shaver and the Real Snow Cube Ice Shavers, and took me a long time to develop this shaver. It's about 13 years, and it was because it was just difficult to make it work, and there were some things that I wanted in this shaver that I wanted in it really bad. And so things like, I didn't want a knife blade. I didn't want blades that had to be adjusted by the owners. The other shavers that are out there, some of them, the blades, there's 3 blades, and they've got to be perfectly aligned with each other. And usually when I see when the shavers go out, they run great and they're like perfect and they make great snow. And then the first time people change the blades, the shaver goes downhill because they don't ever get them adjusted right, and things, well, it takes a crunchier cut. So I wanted a shaver that was always would make a snowy product and was easier for the operator or the owner to change the blade and deal with. And so I'll go ahead and we'll run this, and then we'll go into some other little features about it. But to get into it and to put the ice in it, you lift it here off of these bumps, these retaining rubber things, and it also, when this goes up, it runs a safety switch so that the blade wheel can't go on, and the safety switch is actually a magnetic piece that's going on inside here, so it stays dry, doesn't have the risk of getting wet. So you lift that, and then you load the ice. There's a switch here, and it's written on it, load, and then there's full instructions and stuff that comes with this, so everything I'm telling you, you can read about. It goes out and shuts itself off. I think that's important to say. And it also realigns these 2 actuators. So in the big picture, you might want to take it all the way up and all the way down, at least once in a while, so they get leveled out. Now, this shaver will take a bigger assortment of ice than any shaver that I've ever seen or that I know of. I think I know of all of them. I've been doing it a few years, 33 years. Ideally, you don't touch the ice. You just take it out of the bag, but this is a pretty old piece of ice. This is compressed cubes. It wouldn't be my ideal block to use if you have a choice of using solid frozen ice, but if you don't have a choice, then this is what you want to use, because pressed cubes are quite available. Anybody that owns an ice making company, they can take the cubes that make the bags full of ice and squish them into blocks. So this is, I would say, probably the most common in the US type of ice available. The cabinet's bigger than any other shaver out there that I know of, and you can put a bigger variety of blocks of ice from big to small in this shaver than any of them. And so once you got your ice in there, you can bring down this foot and put a little bit of pressure on the block of ice. And then once the lid goes down, when you step on the foot, it's going to turn on the blade and start to shave. And there are some things we've done with this. We've made it a lot more like our cube shaver, our 3000 cube shaver. It's with this loaded like this, I come up, and I should have I want to take a moment and talk about this flap, because I find out that people don't use this and they don't understand what it's here for. And then once I explain it to them, they always are like, whoa, it's the greatest thing in the world. But what it does is it catches, it leaves it so you don't have to put gloves on and off. And I pull it up and it's around the cup, and that makes it so every flake of snow is going to go into that cup. Without that, it sprays and goes around the sides, and it also allows me to catch a little bit of a head above the brim of the cup so I can shape it, which we'll go ahead and do it here real quick. So I'm stepping on the foot pedal, and I'll show you when we say to run this, you kind of want to tap and then let it shave. When you tap it, it pulls the actuators down, and the longer you step on it, the longer the power is applied to these actuators. So it's just going to keep pulling. So if you tap and see what it does with shaving, and if it's not enough, then you just tap on it again. If you just come out and step on it, what you're going to end up doing is shaving too much snow, and it's going to overflow the cup, which isn't a problem. I'll show you what you do with that, but it's not something you want to do every time. So I'm going to step on the foot pedal once again, pull this up, step on the foot pedal, and this time I'm going to stay on it a little longer. Now, so this is the snow that we just shaved, and because we're shaving off of a block, we kind of machine the block under control, so every little bit is fine, and this is very light. It's full of fluff. That's what it is, and then we can shape it with this top, and the top piece there is only for shaping it. I see some people that really pack it in hard, and you don't want to pack it. You want to keep it so a spoon straw can slide in all the way to the bottom of the cup. To me, it's important that it's soft and easy. People shouldn't have to chisel away at it to eat it. It should be soft and easy to eat. So we'll throw this one out, and let's do another one. I'm going to show you what would happen if your worker didn't take their foot off the foot pedal and they plugged it up, which all the shavers out there plug up that I know of, but it's how easy do they clean and how often do they plug up, and this happens very, very, very rarely, but unless you're doing it wrong. If you take the snow past the brim of the cup to here, then there's nowhere else for it to go but up into here. So then it starts to plug this area up. And this whole thing's built with taper and draft so that it can clear itself out easy. But and I'll show you what happens when you plug it up, what you can do. So you step on the foot pedal, and I shave, and I try to step off the foot pedal and have it stop at this point. This is like perfect. And you learn this with experience. Just trial and error, and you get real good at it, being able to stop. There's nothing here. It's all ready. It's all cleared out. And then you can shape it. And there's like a perfect shaved ice. Really soft, really light. It's very, 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 very fluffy. There's no crunching at all in this. No pieces. There's not even any pinhead size pieces in this. This is, we've always said in our cube shaver there's about 10% pinhead size pieces of ice, but in this it is 100% shaved, and it does it fast. And it makes it easy and fun to run. It's not like other machines that take a long time to do this. And it also makes you a lot of money, because at the end of the day, you can do hundreds of these, maybe thousands, where other machines are a little more complicated and take a little bit longer. So let's say I I step on the foot pedal too long, and this starts to happen. And now this is plugged up. We have a tool that you can either go in and try to scrape that out, and we say all over it, don't put your fingers in the machine. Or another thing you can do is give this a push, and you push it like that. Then when you turn it on, hold your hand on it like that. When you turn it on, it self lodges it out. Let's just plug it one more time and show you one more time. See how it's plugging up? And if I keep shaving, it's going to plug it up worse and worse and worse. Now to unplug it, give that a little push, and well, dang it. Okay, so it's still plugged. Give it a better push. I need to plug it up harder, and it'll come out better. And it lodges everything out on its own, and you can get in there and clean it out with this tool. So the blade in here, we say, and this is one here, and we say that it'll shave 5 to 10,000 shaved ices. It depends on how cold and how hard your ice and all that is. But when this is dull, you can rotate it to another set of holes. This is built in thirds, and most of the shaving takes place in this group of blades right here. So if you wanted to turn this a little bit, you would have new blades. So you can get 2 lives out of this blade. You can get a little more usage. Turn it once, get more life, and then when it's finally like we've exhausted this blade, we've shaved 10,000, there's no more use out of it, all these cutting edges are dull, then throw it away and put a new blade in it. I wanted to go over the changing the blade just a little bit, and what you get with the blade. This is the blade, and this is what we ship out, and they once again, these should shave 5 to 10,000 shaved ices, which means that you should have made a lot of money by the time one of these are dull, and you've got to put it in the machine. And so to put it in the machine, this one was broke down a little bit. This has got a reverse thread on it, so to take it apart, you would think you're putting it on, but you don't have to do that. Like other shavers, you got to break them down pretty far. You just got to take these 3 screws out there, and then take that blade off and put this new one on. Sometimes at events, people will have bad things happen, and if they had an extra blade, it saves a day. But if you move these screws and rotate that a little bit, in a way it saves a day because you've got another blade. So you take those off, and then put your new blade on. You'd put your housing back on, which is this piece here, and you put this handful of wing nuts. In the front, you have these rubber bumpers that are gripper sort of things that help hold all that into place. And then you have the whole top, which is this like that, and so that it just goes on like this. That goes on. It goes through. Put those. These are brand new, so they're kind of tight, which is nice. But so you put the wing nut on, and then you have these 3 of these, and it goes through here and holds both side on, and there's one in the back. So now at this point, you're pretty much set up. This comes down, goes over that, lines up on the safety switch. So at this point we can raise the foot pedal, this plate up, put in the block of ice, close the lid, and then we would be able to go ahead and shave. I feel like I deserve to give myself my sales pitch on the shaver and its comparison to other shavers and things. It has a smaller footprint than many. I mean, some shavers, the block of ice goes in sideways, and then it's got a ratcheting bar that goes out the side of that. So literally, the shaver needs like 3 feet to sit here. The shaver itself is probably at least 2 feet, but it's got the bar that ratchets in. You got to have room for it, or punch a hole in the side of your building, which I've seen people do, so it can travel out. But those shavers, they have a dial that you have to crank up and put the ice in, and they're kind of slippery on the inside, and a lot of the time the ice is in there, especially if your 3 blades aren't adjusted perfect. One of them grabs more than the other 2, and it's taking that block of ice and going ba 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 ba, and which is like enough to make you go crazy because it's not held tight, and it affects the product. It's not as snowy because it's not holding on to that block good. It's allowing it to take chippy cuts, and there's a lot of metal parts on those where when you walk up to it, it goes water, a cup of water, and then slush, and then snow, and then finally you're getting all the metal. It's got a aluminum heavy outer piece like we have here in plastic, and it's got heavy aluminum inside pieces, and all that has to go from warm to cold to make a good product. So, and then you don't have a customer for 20 minutes and it's all warmed up, so then it takes 3 more shaved ices, snow cones, to get the thing cold again, so it'll make a good product. And because it's metal, it has a tendency to plug up often on the inside, and when they plug up, they really plug up bad, and they're putting a lot of water in them, or usually it's water. They got to put a lot of hot water in them to get the stuff to break loose. Where when it's plastic, it has a tendency to clean itself out a lot easier. Kind of like old metal ice trays compared to the new plastic ice trays. New plastic ones, you give them a little twist and the ice cubes pop out. The old metal ones, it usually bend them up before you can even get the ice cubes out of them, or you have to warm them up with water and stuff. Oh, everything we just did with this block of ice was once again, remember, it was compressed cubes. A lot of the shavers out there, they say you can't shave compressed cubes with their shaver. The design of our blade allows you to shave compressed cubes, and some other things it does is you can go in here and touch this, and I don't recommend it, and if you're going to, unplug it and do all kinds of things, but and there's no reason to touch it, but it's not like a knife, it's more like a cheese grater, so it has a less tendency to I mean, if it was a knife in there and you touched it, it's going to cut you. And because there's many blades like there is in there, it allows it to shave compressed cubes and shave them nice. Now, this is just a pan that's used in the kitchen industry, and we just filled it with water and froze it. So this is a homemade block of ice. If you want to make your own ice, or there are companies that you can buy still, not everywhere, not every state, but you can buy solid ice. So anyway, we made this from that pan, and we can just show you some things here. You won't really notice much difference in the texture, but this is it's a little better, I guess. In the long run, when the ice gets really warm, this would do a little better job than the press tubes. Very little, not noticeable really to most people. Whoops. Here, if you don't have to let the ice bounce around like that. If you take the lid up, it's going to stop that motor from running, and you can bring this down and then put some pressure on it. And if you give it a little bit of time to melt in, then it really grabs the ice good and hard. So we'll just shave some with this. Tap and watch. I don't have enough snow. I'm going to tap it again. That's probably pretty good. I usually don't like to make them too big, or what happens is the tops fall off on people's feet or in the car. But this is, I had to scale this. This is so light and so fluffy. I mean, it's just it's almost incredible how soft and fluffy this is. Some other shavers that are out there, like the Asian made ones, you have a block, you can put a block of ice in. Usually people make the ice for them. This is actually about the perfect size block to go in those, because it'll fit. Otherwise it won't fit. But people, they'll make the blocks that go in those a lot of the time, so they have to chip a block in half. And then you put the block in, and you have a dial, and the dial turns the blade up and down. So if you want a crunchy cut, you turn the blade up and it's taking a thick cut. If you want a thinner cut, you turn the blade down so it's barely cutting the ice. And if you do that, it takes about 45 seconds to make a really good shaved ice. So they put the block in, they sink the prongs down in, hopefully good, so when it starts spinning that block of ice, it doesn't come out, which they'll have a tendency to do once in a while, and which means they hit people in the face. They have safety guards on them, but they're all busted off because they come loose in there so often. But you get it spinning and you catch the snow, and in 30 to 45 seconds you put the flavor on and you sell it. Where mine, you come up and you shave, and 3 to 5 seconds you're taking people's money and putting the syrup on. And mine will take, once again, a big variety of blocks of ice, and you know, it just takes a lot of the work out of it. It happens faster with my shaver, just as snowy, and just faster, easier. You know, you go and I compete with these people. They work like us all day, really hard, and they've made a third the money that we make, because we've worked faster and smarter, and we have equipment like our flavor station, like our shaver, that gets volume, does more stuff faster. So I think I've covered most of it. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching my videos. Appreciate your business. If you buy stuff from us, if we can help you at all, we're happy to. So until the next time we have something to show off, I'll let you go for now. Bye.